Stadium brought an incredibly fresh taste to the Overwatch game mode palette. Being that I somehow missed the memo for early access, I got the opportunity to play it for the first time on the day that Season 16 launched. I've strictly avoided content about Stadium to have the least bias towards it one way or the other. Oh, and today's video is partially brought to you by my friends at Freshen Up Energy, more on them later. Getting into Game 1, and I was definitely surprised to find that it was role-locked. A game mode like this wasn't one that I expected that to be the case for, so I locked in on the tank role with zero hesitation. Let's queue tank. I'm gonna queue tank. That's crazy that they have it role queued. Instinctively, I wanted to swap back to first person, but decided to try out third person. As I got further into my first game, I quickly realized that Stadium had changed Overwatch forever. Oh, I don't have my gold weapon on. That or it's not working. Okay, this is cool though. I'll have to explore this. This really, I'm gonna tell you right now, Stadium is gonna change Overwatch permanently. I'm telling you this. Permanently. It will literally change it forever. This is a big deal. What surprised me even more was the fact that I was genuinely enjoying myself. This, honestly, low-key, this is great. Wow, this is fun. I did not think I would enjoy Stadium as much as I am after my first game so far, but this is definitely fun. I really didn't expect to enjoy myself, but as I continued dominating on Zarya, I definitely did. We can win our first Stadium game, I believe. Big, let's go, baby. That's GG right there. Man, that was fun. I even managed to get the play of the game in my first Stadium game. This game mode is oh, we got the play of the game on the first one. Let's go. Truthfully though, it felt weird to gain 125% progress in one win compared to normal ranked modes. Holy crap. 125% in one game? Holy cow. Dang, that's crazy. In Game 2, I realized even more what many other creators have said consistently about this game. Okay, Soldier 76 is a lot taller than he feels.
That's what she said.
Like in game. Yeah, this is interesting. The third person really does add a different experience to this game, and I do think the skins unironically are about to go through this, like the skin sales, through the ceiling. Seeing the entirety of your hero constantly while playing definitely increases the value you receive for spending money or earning a skin. That said, it was also in my second game where I started to notice some glaring issues. Dude, man. It is the same problem you've always had with Overwatch though. If you get a bad team, you get a bad team. The first I noticed was a frame dip occasionally, and that never happens for me normally in Overwatch or pretty much any other game I play. It also showed me that you still have the bad teammates who make the game tough problem that exists in the 5v5 competitive role queue. I had decided to try out DPS, starting with Soldier 76 as he's the most familiar DPS to me. Soldier made me almost not play DPS again because it felt like I had zero influence on the game. Yeah, I mean, they're all standing out in the open. We just move on to the next. I did figure out later that Soldier is just weak. In Game 3, I tried out support and played Ana, again for the familiarity. My biggest problem was the animation when I scoped in. It just felt really lazy with no real animation, just a harsh shift to scoped. That said, I was beginning to feel that the sequel was finally justifiable. This is a whole separate game. And I gotta be honest with you, I think that's super cool, and the fact that they've done this tells us that I feel like they finally justified calling it Overwatch 2, if I'm being honest with you. This is really good. I also went on a small rant about the fact that Stadium wasn't just cooked up since Marvel Rivals' release. Some of the changes that they've made were in response to Marvel Rivals, like hero bans was definitely a direct response, but like Stadium has been in development since 2022, I think. So this is not just a, oh my gosh, we have to do something, scramble and make this in like a couple months. No, this has been going on for a while. Too many people that clearly don't understand developer cycles think this. If this is you, please seek help, as I fear you are losing very valuable IQ points.
You want your dime back? Take it! Now Squidward can come back, right?
Wrong! That ain't my first dime!
Then have some more dime! I've got plenty of them!
You can't put a price on me first dime! And I can't forgive that thieving bilge rat Squidward for stealing it!
Listen, you cross-ages cheapskate! Squidward's been living at my house driving me crazy! And you're not gonna hire him back all because of a stupid dime!
I also felt that the ability power focused items impact were not as clear for certain heroes. Limitations there, because even if we sold all of these, we'd get what, 3k? So 3,500 onto that, which would be 55, so we wouldn't be able to do much more unless one of these is better. I don't fully understand the ability power focused ones. I've seen that a lot, so that's something I'd have to dig into if I wanted to understand it more. That's, I think, the part that I'm least clear on. The concept itself is understandable, but for heroes who don't have high damage abilities, there seemed to be no obvious effect. You know what does have an obvious effect? Freshen Up Energy. They're my channel's first sponsor, and I gotta say, they're the best quality in the energy supplement business. If you're looking for an energy supplement that doesn't cause an afternoon crash and doesn't have that chalky sludge at the bottom when you mix it, I can't recommend Freshen Up enough. You can use my code HOPE at checkout to receive 20% off. That also supports the channel, so thank you for doing that. Now, the fourth game I played, I won't be discussing too much to avoid tilting again. Mostly because it was the most frustrating out of all of the games I experienced. We had a lever, and while that isn't a horrible problem itself, what happened afterwards is. Dude. That's unfortunate. We really get a lever in this. Crazy. After the 2-minute timer, I tried leaving the game because the remaining teammates I had weren't trying. I then was met with only a rejoin game option, rather than being able to move on to another game. Wait, what? You can't... Okay, well, we'll just do our best. That is, I don't like that. This is a problem, and I hope it was accidental because this was an awful experience. Please just put me out of my misery. I want it to be over. Fortunately, in direct contrast to that game, my fifth game was a full stadium experience. Granted, I played Reaper, and he's just objectively broken in this game mode. However, I still ended up going all the way to round 7 for the first time. This unlocked what felt like such a close game, and it truly made up for game 4. And honestly, I was cooking this game, and it felt so good to bounce back from that horrible lever game. So here are the pros that I found from Stadium. Of course, we'll get to the cons after. Generally, like I mentioned earlier, I think the third person was a good thing. Truly, I didn't think I would end up liking it, but I definitely think it was good for this game mode. Speaking of the game mode, that was the centerpiece of what I enjoyed the most. The concept of a MOBA being combined with Overwatch 2's heroes is simply glorious. Now, here's my simple criticisms that I personally would love to see fixed as soon as possible. First on the list is the inability to leave and queue for a different game after 2 minutes post-lever. This is already done in the 5v5 competitive role queue, so I'm kind of hoping they'll implement this later, realizing it was a mistake. The optimization is also relatively poor, but I truly think that comes from the third-person POV, so they may just need more time to smooth that out. Also, just a small change here, the stats page for your player should change what it shows based on what items you've purchased and what consequently you have affected. For example, lifesteal should be shown on the list if you have items that increase it. Finally, I'll share the biggest one that really doesn't have much of a solution if I'm honest, but it is a concern of mine. The community is already very split, and this game mode isn't going to help. My suggestion is that they eliminate 6v6 or 5v5 for their primary PvP game mode, and truthfully, I think they should just stick to 5v5 at this point for consistency. Don't get me wrong, I'm a 6v6 guy myself, but I do think that for the game's longevity, they need to keep things a bit more consistent. I guess time will tell as to whether or not, and by how much, Stadium ends up splitting the competitive community. Side note, but one of the things that I have done to push myself a little bit more recently is aim training, and in this video right here, I actually released my results of doing this for 28 days.